What up, Menacing Maniacs and Cryptic Campers and Dead World TCG Wonders, and of course, Pokemaniacs. Today is May 30th, 2026, and we're going to talk about all the cards I just sent literally today to PSA. Because as we all know, PSA is shutting down its lower level services all the way up to the $80 tier level or $150 or whatever, but in the next 2 days is the last time you're going to be able to grade cards at PSA for $25 a piece. And I probably won't receive them back until like next March or April probably. So that's why I'm making this video, just to document how much these cards are worth right now in raw condition, PSA 9 and PSA 10. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys a card that I'm going to be picking up quite a bit of because I think it's really undervalued. Anyways, that's at the end of the video. Let's get right into it. So we got the Kanto starters from the first partner illustration box. And I do have other cards too. It's not just these 3 cards I'm sending in, but we'll get to that later in the video. But to start, I'm going to be sending in 8 Squirtles, 8 Charmanders, and 8 Bulbasaurs. So currently to buy these 3 cards in raw condition as a set, it's about $120. And here we have on May 30th, 2026, the recording of this video, $120 in auction for all 3 of these cards in raw condition. And the box that they come out of is selling currently for around $61 in auction. Now they come out of this pack, in case you don't know, and you have a 1 in 3 chance of getting Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. Or you can get these other starters too, but obviously the Kanto starters are where the money's at. As you can see, I mean, the box is $61, but if you get those 3 cards in raw condition, you could sell them for $120, which is double the price of the box, which is crazy. And on top of that, you get a Mega Evolutions pack and a Phantasmal Flames pack. So let's check out the Charmander if it comes back as a PSA 9. Currently, May 27, 2026, $98.06 in auction. That's a PSA 9 for this card. And then a PSA 9 Charmander, $136.50. Now remember, there are grading fees, but still, if you paid $120 for those 3 cards, and you sent all 3 in for $25 each, so it's $75 plus the $120, that's what, $195? I mean, just a Charmander grading to PSA 9 is making you back half your money at least? That's crazy. Let's see what happens if it grades a PSA 10. Oh, and before we get to the PSA 10, we got to talk about Ace 10 Perfect grading from, I think it's over in the UK. So if you watch Randolph Pokémon on YouTube, if you know who that is, that's his grading company. Pretty cool. They do the color match labels, but doesn't have the same value as PSA, not even close. So you can see a PSA 10 for this card was about $144 American. But if it's a PSA 10, it's selling for $455. Now remember, you could buy them raw for $120 for the whole set, and just the one card, if it grades a PSA 10, sells for $455 on May 19, 2026. And important to note, the population report, there's 493 sent in right now. I wonder how many are going to be sent in by the time I get them back. But 446 have graded a PSA 10. Like, the PSA 10 percentage rate is absolutely insane. And then here we have another one on May 26th that sold for $520. And another one on May 27th that sold for $625 in auction. And let's say there's a whole flood of these that come back in, 9, 10, 11 months from now. Even if this dropped to $200 per card as a PSA 10, that's still an insane return. Just one card would pay for the entire submission, and that's not including the Squirtle and the Bulbasaur that you sent in. And next we have the Squirtle as a PSA 9, sold for $66 in auction. Even if they all graded PSA 9s, the Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle, you'd be pretty much breaking even. It's insane. And odds are one of those 3, if not all 3, are going to grade a PSA 10. So next we have another Squirtle for $92.99 in auction, May 26, 2026. And then if it grades a PSA 10, it's selling for $425 in auction, May 20th, 2026. And once again, look at that population report, 448 sent in and 375 PSA 10s. A very high gem rate. And then we have another one here on May 26th that sold for $565.55. And this is crazy, May 27th, another one that sold for $626.66 with 66 bids. And then we got another insane one, $705 in auction, that's May 26th. And then we have this crazy Bulbasaur that has the Pikachu in the background as a PSA 9 at $165 as a buy it now. And then even in auction as a PSA 9, $132.50. Well, boom! Right now the Bulbasaur is selling for $625 in auction, May 26, 2026. And once again, the PSA 10 population report, 452 sent in and 391 are a PSA 10. So as you've seen for each one of these cards, and I believe it because I've seen all of them in person, the eight copies that I sent in each were absolutely amazing condition. And then on May 27th, we have another one that sold for $575. and another one on May 28th that sold for $510. And here's a set, a buy it now for all three of these cards as PSA 9s. I can't emphasize this enough. We saw earlier in the video, you could buy all three for $120 raw, spend $25 a piece for grading fees, plus shipping, all that stuff. It would be around $200 American. And you could sell the set of PSA 9s for $350. You're still making at least $100 profit. Now, I know I'm not going to get these back until next March, but who knows how crazy it's going to be next March with the world of Pokemon when 30th anniversary is in full swing. And these are some of the very first 30th anniversary cards that ever existed. And then if you get a set of all PSA 10s, and these aren't even sequentially numbered or anything, in auction, $1,826 for all three of these cards as PSA 10s on May 29, 2026. Okay, the next card I sent in, I believe 4 copies of this Charizard. So still in the sealed wrapper when you get it out of the Charizard XEX Ultra Premium box. Selling for about $65. This card has a PSA 9 selling for about $60.99. And another one in auction has a PSA 9 for $57. And then as a PSA 10, it's selling for about $300 as a buy it now. And important to note in this video, there's 61,669 sent in the PSA right now, and there's 28,440 PSA 10s. And then on May 29, 2026, there's one that sold for $285 in auction, and another one that sold for $292 in auction. And the other card that you get out of that Charizard UPC Ultra Premium box is this Oricorio EX, severely undervalued. I mean, it's crazy. $12 you could buy it for as a buy it now. So I sent in 3 copies of this card. I mean, look at this, even in auction, low as $7.50. And then if it grades as a PSA 9, it doesn't do too well, but $28 as a buy it now. And then as a CGC Gem Mint 10, $26 in auction May 29th. Another CGC Gem Mint 10, $36 in auction. And then we have a Gem Mint 10 from Ace Grading over in the UK once again. So for about $60.55 in auction. And then PSA 10, buy it now, $149.99, so $150. And the population report on this is 34,157 sent in and 17,370 graded as a PSA 10. So I sent in 3 copies of this card because I felt like they were guaranteed to get PSA 10s. And then here's another one that sold for $130 in auction, more or less. And then another one, $137.50 in auction. And then we have the Cinccino EX from Chaos Rising. If you saw my video, I opened this out of a booster box on a live stream. So there's one that sold for about $92. Another one for $84 in auction. Now, as of the recording of this video, this set came out literally a week ago. So who knows what the prices on these cards will be. There's none graded at PSA yet just because it's so new. But here's another copy that sold for $81 raw in auction. So I imagine a card like this, if it grades a PSA 10, is going to be selling anywhere from $300 to $400. I mean, look at that artwork. That's crazy. It's a secret illustration rare, which is pretty damn hard to pull and pretty crazy when you pull one. And besides the Greninjas in this set, all the other cards don't really have too much value except for this card and the gold Greninja and obviously the SIR Greninja. Next we have Meowth, illustration rare from Phantasmal Flames. I sent 3 of these in. I actually have a few more of these in a different order, but for this order to PSA, I sent 3 more of these. So currently in raw condition, this is selling for about $22.50 in auction. And another one for $23.50 in auction. And another one for $33 in auction as of May 30th, 2026. That's a recording of this video. And then a PSA 9, not much more, $36.98. This is an illustration rare that is guaranteed to go up from this point on. I mean, this is one of the nicest illustration rares in this era of Pokemon, without a doubt. But yeah, it's a PSA 9, $36.98. And then on May 29th, another one sold for $51 as a PSA 9. And then as a PSA 10, it sold for $300 in auction on May 29th. And the population report, 17,582 sent in, 8,073 PSA 10. So about, 50% chance, just under 50%. And then another one on May 29th that sold for $305 in auction. And then the next card I sent in, I pulled out of Ascended Heroes, which was crazy, is the Mega Attack Rare Mega Gengar. So now this is the Japanese version. I just figured I'd put this in the video. So the Japanese version of this card has 18,231 sent in the PSA and 16,467 PSA 10s. So as usual, Japanese cards grade very well. And as buy it now, it sold for $155. And as a CGC 10, it sold for $101 American, so the PSA 10 is commanding more value without a doubt. But the copy I sent in was the English version, so this right here, $81 in auction for a raw copy, May 28, 2026. Then there's another raw copy on May 29th that sold for $76 raw. And another raw copy that sold for $87. And how much does it grade as a how much does it sell for as a PSA 10? $520 in auction as of May 29, 2026. And the population report, 2,404 sent in, 1,704 PSA 10s. And there's another one on May 29, 2026, sold for $530 in auction. So that's it for all the cards, all the different cards I sent in this PSA submission. So before we end the video, I'm going to talk about a card that I think is very undervalued. It's one of those sleeper promo cards that maybe isn't a sleeper. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but it's very undervalued in my opinion right now. And that's none other than the Mega Lucario EX. Now you can only get this card as a promo card when you buy one of the Ascended Heroes collection boxes where you get 10 packs of Ascended Heroes. So there's this card, and then there's the Mega Gardevoir, but I think the Lucario, even though it is about a $20 card, and it comes guaranteed in every one of those boxes, is severely undervalued. There's no chance in a couple years from now this card isn't worth at least $100. So to get it for $20 or less is insane. And just for my own documentation, so I could see this in a year from now, I bought one of these Mega Lucarios, and this includes shipping and everything. I bought one for $28.34 Canadian. And then Mega Gardevoir Mega Attack Rare, $14.69 Canadian. Another Mega Lucario for $28.34 Canadian. Mega Gardevoir Attack Rare for $14.69. And another Mega Lucario for $26.92. Oh, and if you made it this far in the video, another sleeper card, if you can get it at a good price in good condition, is a Mega Evolution stamped Bulbasaur, the box topper. That comes with the Mega Evolution's base set booster box. If you could buy this box topper still sealed, I got one for $49.88 Canadian. If you can get it at a decent price and it's still sealed in the packaging, these are going to be probably some sleeper promo cards as well. Oh, and if you made it extra far in this video, I also picked up a MetaZoo booster box, Kryptonation First Edition, for $134.23 Canadian. And if nothing else, comment below, did you send out some cards before the June 2nd cutoff for the $25 tier? Now don't forget, the $25 tier, you had to send in a minimum of 50 cards as well. And if you made it all the way this far into the video, I sent in the cards with some cards from Great Genie. If you don't know who Great Genie is, you will soon enough on this channel, so stay tuned. There's some cool things coming. Anyways, comment below, let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.